pressure that's going to be allowed by this offensive line and expect him to deliver accurate balls down the field. That's not his game.
Yeah.
It's not that he doesn't have the arm. He's just not opportunity to complete some things in a very short and intermediate game and get it moving quick. Then he's problem with what happened in the second half is that he started to have some success, and that's field for so long. But I understood it at least. I'd like to be able to tell you, oh, well, this is a work in progress, and that's true. And there was a lot of turnover. We've spent the last 8 months talking about just how much. But this was downright ugly. Some of the things that they did, how it looked like that defensive staff had not watched one play of what Florida did last week or last year. Consistently out of position what they did. We saw very little rotation out of the defensive line. There was supposed to be getting some fresh bodies out there, getting some fresh legs out there. And I know that the injury to Mason Smith put him in a hole. And unfortunately, he came back out on crutches. He's got the brace on the knee. It's not encouraging at all. We'll find out more tomorrow, I guess. But ugly tonight in the Superdome. And listen, I've watched some games where they were out. I started working in media during the Spurrier era. Okay, there were some times where the other to be sour grapes at all because LSU was just absolutely horrifically bad tonight. When Florida State, I mean, they're not terrible, okay?
Yeah.
But is that oh, man, look, you just got to tip your cap because those guys over there are great. SEC team that just beat you by a point and should have beat you by 2 to 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
My opinion.
Yeah, no, I think for LSU, after this whole new coaching staff, you finally, you waited all week.
Which was fine.
Yeah, no, of course. But I think a lot of people here just felt really confident going into this game. For football program isn't too far removed from losing a football game to Jacksonville State. That didn't happen that long ago, and so. State program, and now the scary part about it, which we just coming off a national title in 19, you're putting yourself in a position where you've seen the likes of Nebraska, seen the likes of Miami, and a lot of programs in this country kind of losing it and don't really get it back. And so to me, you got to find a way. I know it stinks coming off 3 seasons in a row where you lose your season opener, which I don't know. I'm not a historian, but I wondered when the last time that happened for LSU football.
Three openers in a row.
Yeah.
It was in the early 90s.
Yeah.
Early 90s.
Yeah, very long time. Very long time since that happened. So just watching that game, I haven't got a chance to watch it over again, but just a lot of bad football to me. A lot of bad football. You let them convert on third down time and time again. And to me, you take away the yards Jayden Daniels got in the rush game, you got nothing. You got nothing from Armani Goodwin. You got nothing really from Noah Cain. Obviously, Williams didn't bring anything in the rush game. And so the rush game was virtually nothing there. And to me, I think you and I were talking about it before we got on the air, and is that taking shots down the field, really doing, to me, the strong suit of this offense is all the weapons you have on the outside. I can think of a couple deep chances they gave to Keyshawn, one he dropped in the end zone, one he got the penalty on, but you aren't really taking shots down the field. And so you really have a run game that was to be existent with running backs, and then you had a pass game where you weren't taking shots down the field. And to me, that's a recipe for disaster, and that's not even talking about the defense who really couldn't get a stop on third down. And obviously, they let Travis get momentum, and they let him kind of get stand drives, and it just really didn't look like the LSU brand of football I thought Coach Kelly would start this era off with.
I'm not going to succumb to the temptation that I know a lot of people will tonight, which is to have the rest of the season predicated on what you saw tonight. I've been at this too long. I know it will be different. I can't tell if he's going to be better or worse, but I know it will be different. it's too easy to just say, well, they lost this game, so they'll lose all it. I'm not gonna do that, okay? Because I've seen Texas A&M last year, okay, just one of many examples. Beat Alabama, okay, lost 4 other games. Teams evolve. They get better, they get worse, but they never stay the same. So I'm not gonna fall into the trap of saying LSU looked awful tonight against Florida State, so they're not gonna win any games in the SEC, or they're going to win 1 or 2 games in the SEC. I don't know, but I will be happy to talk about this game and tell you what I saw, and none of it was good. I mean, Jayden Daniels was a spark plug tonight, okay? I thought the kid played with a tremendous amount of heart. But it was by necessity that he was put in so many of these bad positions. You know, he shouldn't have been forced to scramble around for his life like that. You know, I get what Kelly was saying coming out of the half, which was we can't play any worse. No argument. And that Daniels should not scramble as much. And if he had asked me, which he wasn't going to do, I would have said, you guys quit dropping him straight back with an offensive line that can't block anybody, and he'll probably stop running for his life. Put him on a designed role. Get him on the move. Give him a fighting chance, okay? I heard a couple of, things. We're going to put in Nussmeier. He's going to be in the same position if you call the same stuff. Yeah. He's going to be running for his life, and he's not as fast as the other guys. So no. This was Brian Kelly following tonight's game.
Certainly mistake after mistake for us, in particular in the first half. And, obviously more mistakes in the second half. We started to overcome some of those and played with, I would consider more of a sense of urgency, with the last 12 minutes. But, our margin for error was so small that we couldn't make any more mistakes. I was proud of our resolve. We battled, but we just have to learn how to play the game the right way, and that is for 4 quarters. We didn't play with the kind of sense of urgency that I want for 4 quarters, and that was evident in our play. We didn't tackle very well. We couldn't get off the field on 3rd down. We didn't execute very well offensively. We had 2 turnovers in our punt return game, which we thought would be an asset for us, and then we had a blocked field goal and a blocked extra point. Anytime you have those kinds of situations, you're setting yourself up for a long night. And despite all of those things, I stand here in front of you with an opportunity to bring the game into an overtime situation. So what we did well is we battled. Proud of the way we battled. What obviously we need to do better is play with a sense of urgency for 4 quarters, which we did not. What we learned is we've got to coach better. I mean, we've got to have our kids coached in a manner where they're ready, and I'm accountable for that. And we have to have them tackling better, executing better in all phases. So with that, I'll open up to questions.
Okay. Well, that's honest.
Yeah.
He knows what's wrong, so it's now the time to get about fixing it. 499-9898 is the number to call on the LaBerge hotline. We'll take your calls when we come back from the Nopsey Hotel on Barone Street in New Orleans. This is Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
They said I was small, weak, said my heart wasn't strong enough. But I showed them what heart looked like, again and again and again. Mom got me the right care, the right doctors with Blue Cross coverage. Don't let people tell you who you are. Show them. The right card, the right care.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
This summer, meet Acura's heroes of performance. Only available at the Acura Summer of Performance.
This summer, visit your local Acura dealer for attractive offers on the MDX.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
Eagle 98.1.
Eagle 98.1 game day continues from New Orleans. 499-9898 is the number on the LaBerge hotline. Larry in Mandeville is first. Larry, welcome into the show. Larry, go ahead.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead, Larry.
Hey, it's Garrett.
Oh, yeah, I'm all right. I'm sorry. They told me Larry. All right, Garrett, go ahead.
That's all right. Last year you had a pretty animated conversation with one of your co-hosts about whether or not you were pushing a so-called coaching candidate. And I just wanted to get your honest opinion. If they had hired Billy Napier, would we have won this game tonight?
I have no idea, okay? Last night, Florida, who played against a much better team in Utah than LSU played against in Florida State tonight, was one play away from losing that game, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But they made the play, so they won the game. I think Billy Napier is a very good coach. I went crazy the way I did last year for one reason. I wanted to make it perfectly clear that I wasn't backing any candidate. I got no dog in this fight. I don't work for LSU. I'm not bucking for a job over there. I don't want to coach, okay? I don't want to be on staff. I don't want to I do what I do. I do the pregame. I do the postgame. I'm back on a daily show, and I do that regardless of who the coach is. I've been here through half a dozen of them, okay? So I wanted to make it very clear. I don't have an agenda. I don't know Billy Napier. I don't really know Brian Kelly other than covering him, okay? So I got a little bit irritated about kind of being pigeonholed that I was cheerleading or campaigning for somebody, because I wasn't, okay? I don't get any more money. I don't get any more assignments. I don't get any more favors, okay? Not trying to curry favor with anybody. None of that stuff. They hired who they hired. I'm going to go to the press conference. I'm going to cover it. I'm going to do what I do, all right? So I wanted to make that very clear, because it hasn't always been clear when certain people in the Baton Rouge market have gone to bat for other coaches, okay? That ain't me. I ain't going to do it, okay? Whoever the coach is, Brian Kelly, it's Billy Napier, whoever it is. That ain't me, all right? I think Brian Kelly's a very good coach. I think he had a really, really, really bad night. He's been successful for way too long to go off the deep end on this stuff. I have no idea how Billy Napier would have – I don't know what he would have installed. I mean, what he's installed over at Florida with Anthony Richardson, he's got a precocious talent at quarterback. Okay, Richardson can do things that most quarterbacks can't do at that level. So if you watched Utah and Florida, Anthony Richardson won Florida the game. Okay, I mean, if he's playing for somebody else, then they don't win that game. And I don't know how he would have prepared this team. I think he's a good coach. Is he going to be successful at Florida long term? Who can say? But that's why I got a little bit aggravated with the insinuation last year. And it wasn't so much Richard. It was just the idea that I somehow was going to benefit no matter who they hired as a head coach. Ross in Baton Rouge is next. Ross, welcome to the show.
Hello?
Ross. Yeah, Ross, go ahead.
This is actually Nolan. I'm in Livingston.
Nolan, okay. Nolan from Livingston on the LeBear's hotline. Go ahead.
Yeah, so a couple things. One thing I saw in quarterback play, which you may not have, maybe you did, is that I saw some flashbacks of Jordan Jefferson where he held on to the ball way too long. You know, Joe Burrow had an average of about a 2.5-second window from snap to throw. And when they started making those quick decisions in the fourth quarter, he was able to perform better, and he went like 14-19 in the fourth quarter. Am I wrong?
That sounds right. I don't have it in front of me.
But aside from that, I think Neighbors needs to be benched as a returner. They need to find another returner because 2 muff punts in one game, that's way too much. I did like some of the defensive blitz packages that I saw, but it doesn't matter if you stuff them on first and second down if you can't stop the underneath stuff and give them 15 yards on third. So I think there's a lot of defensive mistakes that need to be cured on third down, third and long situations. And, I'll leave it at that.
Jeremy, what did you think? The amount of time he held on to the ball, he's correct. The caller is correct there. Again, I think they're asking him to do things that he's not as comfortable with. A lot of what they did in 19 was out of a 5 wide receiver set, and they would just they were accurate. They had multiple all-world receivers. Okay, but I was surprised that they did not do some things to help Jayden Daniels out tonight.
Yeah, I think for me, I think a lot of people are going to make a big deal about the quarterback thing, and I think rightfully so because there were a lot of occasions where I think Jayden had plenty of time to throw the football. He was sitting back there, and I think doing what he's inclined to do, and that's use his legs. I thought we talked about the keys to the V before the game, and I thought how would Daniels use his legs. That's a big part of his game, and to me it seems like that's really the only thing he wanted to do, and because you were down 2 scores, I think that forced him to have to use his arm probably a lot more than he was wanted to do because watching those first 3 quarters that just wasn't the case, and kind of when you had to have situations when they went to those prevent defenses, you saw him be a little more reluctant to throw the football. So I think for me, looking at this game plan and looking at how they called the game, for me they didn't do a good enough job trying to get the other running backs going and get the ball. Armani Goodwin had a couple good runs early on. I would have loved to see him get some more looks at it, and also like you said as well, just drop back pass after drop back pass, traditional drop back pass. I don't remember much 5-out sets. To me, if you're going to drop back pass with, with Jayden Daniels, give him a 5-out set. That way you spread the defense out, you give him an easy read. If it's not there, then he can, use his legs and run the ball. But to me, I'm going to go back to the way, Florida State called this game offensively and defensively. I just thought they made it a lot easier for Jordan Travis to have easy reads to get the ball to, especially on the outside when they rolled him out. And I thought their defense did a great job, especially early in this game when LSU really struggled to score for most of it and only had 3 points. They did a phenomenal job blitzing all night, stopping the run game. And they let Jayden Daniels scramble when he had to, but for the most part, when they needed to get stops, they did that. That's why, to me, this score is a lot more misleading than a lot of people will realize, because, to me, Florida State really dominated this football game, and they did everything in their power to kind of let LSU back in it.
Ross in Baton Rouge on the LaBerge hotline. Ross?
Hey, Annie. Hey, Jay Hill. Hey, I would disagree a little bit with the previous caller on the evaluation of Jayden Daniels. I thought you can attribute most of that to the lack of creativity and Denbrock's play calling. I mean, he got completely outcoached by Florida State's coaches. And then another thing, just something as fundamental as the center snapping the football. How do we not have that figured out whenever we've got snaps going over the head? Even the snaps that went right to Jayden Daniels, it's like a half second too late. It throws off the timing. I don't know if y'all noticed that, where he's kind of waiting for the snap to come and the defensive end is already in the backfield almost. So he didn't really have any time to go through his progression. So I would disagree with that being the main concern. I think Jayden Daniels did fine with what, he was kind of just dealt a bad hand today.
Thank you very much for the call. The center snap's going to be an issue. You've got a center that we talked about it with T-Bob in pregame, where this is what he's being tasked to do, and up until about a month ago, that was not his position. Dellinger, I think, is a good player, but he was a good player at guard and or tackle in high school, and then a little bit last year, and at the end of the season, he was playing with a pretty serious labrum injury that really kind of set him back a little bit. He's, I hate to say work in progress again, but I think he'll get better. But that's going to remain a concern for a while.
Yeah, I think this O-line it's going to be, you got to think this coaching staff, they didn't recruit all these kids, and they got some of these kids out of the transfer portal. We're talking schools like Tennessee State and FIU. It's not, what Alabama's done and go get, 5-star prospects from anywhere in the country. These are a lot of guys who are playing out of positions they've never played before. You got a freshman who, should have been at prom a couple months ago, starting at left tackle right now. So to think this offensive line is just going to go out there and just totally dominate in a brand new offense that's new for all of them. I think we'd be, fooling ourselves a little bit here. But I think with all that being said, I would have loved just a little bit different play call and a little more stuff, to get some guys the ball on the edge. I talked about them running some screens, which we saw them do. Didn't really see much screens to any running backs, but for me, I just think if you're going to go with Jayden Daniels at the quarterback position, I would love to see some more quarterback design runs. I thought, most of his rushing yards are really from him, pulling it down in the pass game with him just doing regular drop back pass and stuff. I thought with him at the helm, you saw even Florida State do it, get Jordan Travis some stuff in the quarterback run game. If you're going to go with that offense, I think you got to kind of almost look like what Baltimore's doing with Lamar Jackson and really just make that their entire offense and use your quarterback's, legs. So it's a huge advantage. I just think they didn't do that enough, and the score's a 1-point game, but I think a lot of that has to do with Florida State backing off, not wanting to give up big plays at the end and kind of let LSU eat some clock there.
Landon is in New Mexico. Landon, welcome into the show on the LaBerge hotline.
Hey, a question for you guys. After what Miles did in the COVID year, he started off great before he got hurt. And then he comes, and this year happens, and is Daniels that so much better than Miles Brennan was to have him just say, you know what, I'm going to quit and retire? Because he didn't show it tonight. Let's go, Brandon.
All right. Look, Miles Brennan, he made the decision. He probably wasn't going to be one of the first two quarterbacks for this team. But it's a reasonable question to ask, though, Jeremy. When Brennan left the team, I thought, and I think a lot of people in the media thought, and a lot of the fans thought, well, it's because this offense wants to feature a mobile quarterback. They want to put him on the move. They want to have they want to be able to put the R in the RPO, okay? And that wasn't Brennan's strong suit. Okay, well, that to me, that explanation held water. That was okay. But what they ran tonight out there, they would have probably been better off with Miles Brennan playing quarterback because he's more suited to drop back. Now, he would have been sacked probably 6 to 8 times tonight on plays where Daniels was able to get away from the pressure, step up, get outside, and make some yards. I mean, Daniels rushed for 114 yards tonight.
Yeah.
Brennan would have probably completed some of those deep balls that Daniels didn't, but he would have. I mean, God bless, if you would have put him back there behind that offensive line, he'd have been sacked half a dozen times easy. So
yeah, I think all the concerns about the offensive line reared their ugly head today, and to me, that's a Florida State line that I don't think is going to have many All-Americans on it. I think they're a good football team, but I don't think that team is going to go and shock anyone and go win the ACC or anything like that. And so I think all the offensive line issues we thought from, center to quarterback exchange issues to holding up in the pass protection issues to getting the running backs going issues. I think you saw all those things on full display. And so in some ways it would have been tough for Denbrock to call a lot of stuff, but I think he did slightly do Jayden Daniels a disservice, not running that many quarterback design runs, not rolling him on the outside, getting him on the edge, and getting the ball out of his hands quick. I thought, to me, they started off the game a lot like we saw last season with LSU, and them constantly trying to throw the ball down the field and not really give their quarterback any easy avenues to throw the football. And you kind of saw them shuffle and do that later on in the game. But I think it was too late when they were just giving you prevent defense. So I think they're going to adjust. Obviously, this is not the way you want to start a season at any point. If you're this new coaching staff, they're going to try to figure this thing out. I think they're going to continue to stick with Jayden Daniels, especially you see him create the amount of yardage and the things he's done for this offense. But to me, I feel in the camp, I want to see Nussmeier get a chance. I think for me, you look at this football team, you look at, and you really see, especially now, looking at what this run game is going to be, I think Garrett gives you the best opportunity to get these receivers in rhythm. And I thought for me, when you saw Keyshawn have some of those weird drops that he has, it just struggled to get rhythm all in all from the first 3 quarters of the game. And you kind of saw them scramble when you had to have it, situations toward the end when you're playing prevent, kind of make it a game. But I thought for me, they just didn't seem in rhythm for most of the game. And to me, I think Garrett could probably help you out with that a little bit.
You're going to see him at some point, I'm pretty sure. After the first drive, where they throw the ball into the corner of the end zone, and Boutte almost comes up with it. Correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think he was targeted again until the second half. At some point in the second quarter, don't you have to go doesn't Brian Kelly have to tell Mike Denbrock, hey, listen, I don't care what you call, but you go get the ball of 7. You, end around, slip screen, tunnel screen, a go route. I don't care what it is, but you go figure out a way to get the ball to 7. Because I thought by the time the second half got around that Boutte was out of the game mentally. That's as distracted as I've seen him play. Because when he played, but before the injury, and when I said in August, well, he doesn't look any the worse for wear from injury, I was talking about physically. He can still run. I mean, he's not favoring anything. But it seemed like he just got completely detached from the game plan tonight after that first pass.
Yeah, and I think that's to me to be understood. I think if you're a guy like Keyshawn, who you had every opportunity to put your name in the transfer portal and, take your talent to another school, and I think a lot of people would have understood that. You decided to come back.
No, they wouldn't have.
I think. Well, obviously, people in Baton Rouge. Now, I'm talking about in the big picture. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, wherever he was going, they would have understood.
Yeah, of course. No. Yeah, people in Baton Rouge wouldn't have loved that. But I think in the big picture, we know just what the transfer portal is just what's going to happen. But I think for Keyshawn, anytime you go back to this offense with so many unknowns, we don't really know what type of offense it's going to be. You knew last year they were going to get you the football. Whoever's at quarterback, they were going to get you the football. So I think right now, going into this first game against a Florida State team, like I said, they played good enough game to win the game today, but I don't think they're going to go do anything special. As a competitor, you feel like you left so much on that bone, and as a guy who's a preseason All-American, you're on everyone's draft board to be one of the first receivers taken. I think having the drops and only having 20 yards in the first game is the absolute worst way to start the season. And so I thought all that stuff would be on the table anytime you go with a quarterback like Daniels. To me, who's looking to use his legs and run more, the receivers are going to take a bite, and they're going to have to, really try to understand that, we're not going to be getting 8-9 targets a piece a game. It's going to look like, our quarterback's going to be taking in and running. They're going to be running read option stuff, and the receivers really aren't going to be used to that high end. So I think Keyshawn's going to have to learn to understand that, especially with what this offensive line looks like to start the season. And to me, it's going to be tough, man, because I think these receivers are really the strong suit of the team. I just don't think they're going to be able to be utilized properly in this offense.
499-9898 is the number to call. We'll take a break, come back with more of your calls. Florida State wins at 24-23. This is Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
Order curbside pickup online or with Rouse's Market Shopping app and let Rouse's personal shopper shop for you. Curbside pickup is free and you pay the same price for groceries as in-store. Use code SAINTS20 and save $20 on orders of $100 or more. That's curbside convenience. Shopper style.
Oh, yeah!
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
There's nothing better than tailgating, but it can be a lot of work. So why do it yourself when you don't have to? Let Revelry Sports and Entertainment set up your luxury tailgate on campus. Order what you want and just show up to party. Book your tailgate today at revelryteam.com. Revelry Sports, the official tailgate partner of LSU Athletics.
98.1.
Eagle 98.1 game day continues from the Nopsey Hotel here in New Orleans on Barone Street. Florida State wins at 24-23. Back to the LeBerge hotline. Lynn is in New Mexico. Lynn, welcome into the show. Lynn, go ahead. I'm sorry, Craig, go ahead. Craig in New Iberia. Craig, go ahead.
Yeah, sir. Well, I'm driving back from the Superdome headed to back home to New Iberia. It's kind of I don't know. It's like the team couldn't get it sync until the fourth quarter. Things started to click. So, I agree with a lot of what you said. I don't think they put their quarterback in the best positions. I mean, if you got a running quarterback, why you want to have a 5-step drop? Don't understand that. The offensive line is not that good yet. I think they're going to be a good football team, a good offensive line. They're young. They're not gelled just yet. I think that's going to come with time. I really think that if we played Southern week and Florida State week 2, it could have been a completely different outcome. I think they just hit a not say a good football team, but a pretty decent football team. And we didn't have our, everything wasn't in sync for us. It was the first time a quarterback with a lot of first-time players on the offensive line, switching positions. Center's not used to being where he's supposed to be. We got a true freshman at left tackle. So it's just, a lot of unknowns, against a decent, at best, Florida State football team. I just think it was kind of a perfect storm for us not to perform well. It looked like once we kind of got a little rhythm and, late into the game, things started to work a little bit better. It's a shame this one to build some momentum for the rest of the season. Just hoping
LSU did not deserve to win this game. I mean, they might have. So teams win games that they, have made enough mistakes to lose all the time.
Yeah.
If they would have won, made the extra point, going to overtime and won it, we would still be talking about all of these things that went wrong. And so would Brian. We look fantastic because they wouldn't have, even if they would have pulled this game out at the end.
Yeah, no, I think we talked about it. I think Hunt and I talked about it all week, and it's that, even though you're playing Duquesne, getting that week 0 game, they're running plays, figuring out, hey, we're not getting called for holding, hey, we're not getting coaching staff like they are, brand new offensive coordinator, brand new defensive coordinator. Everyone's learning this offense. You got to do it against a Florida State team who's super, super desperate to get a pulse back and get things going back in the right direction. I think for LSU, it just looked the part of you just right after the game. He wants to get the team going and doing the little things that they need to do to win football games. And I thought for me, looking power to do that, you're getting 15-yard penalties with the game on the line. You just can't. Well, hey, if they would have lost the game, you could have pointed to this. They should have had this play when they first snapped the ball. So but from beginning to ending, just not the brand. I think for Coach Kelly, it's going to be easy. As players, you think, hey, we're going to put that purple and gold on and go out there and play well, and we're going to win. We're at home. We're in New Orleans. No, it's not that easy. You got to go out there and execute.
Why would they have thought that? Honest to goodness, I mean, if you had said that for the in 2006, 2007, when they had won 22 out of 24 games or 22 out of 25 games or whatever it was. You said that in 2011, okay, when they were right up until the last game, they were beating the stew out of everybody. Yep. Okay, your team in 2013, the offense was, hey, listen, man, we roll out of bed and score 38 points on anybody. You went and scored 38 points on Georgia. The defense has some problems, but why would this team have thought that? This team has had a losing record last year. They had a 500 record the season before that. They've turned over half the roster and all of the building. Where's the swagger coming from? What have you done to believe that?
Yeah, that's a great question. But I think for me, you still got a little small remembrance of 2019 on this team with players like, Emery still on the roster, Ali Gay still on the roster. But I think you still have that. And I think anytime you have a new coach like Coach Kelly coming in and everyone changing the realm and changing everything, everyone's going to have a sense of, things are different. And I think for me, in so many ways, watching this game, it looks so familiar from when we saw against that Mississippi State game against to start the year, and have so much remembrance of that UCLA game to start the year. Just not the brand of LSU football that you want to be playing. And to me, still so many talented guys. And I think if you would have told me going to this game, you were going to lose, Mason Smith to start it off, and Ali Gay was going to get kicked out, I would have said, you know what, things probably weren't going to be going well. And that's kind of what happened, especially watching that defense play.
I can't believe that the guy dropped the baton. I mean, when the guy dropped the baton. Hey, look, if Burrow and Chase and Jefferson and all of those guys, they can walk around with that out of bed and just beat you senseless. Sid?
I want, globally, and where you think the pro into this season. And to me, it looks like a major rebuild is my take on, and it's hard to extrapolate throughout the season, but I just wanted to get y'all's general take on where you think the program is at this point in time.
It isn't a rebuild. This is many times I didn't want to be repeated. They turned over most of the team. They turned over all of the staff, and not just work in the building. And it was going to take some time to do that. I was willing to deal with some of the growing pains that go with that. For instance, last year, Jeremy, Texas A&M game, they had Garrett playing a little bit hurt. He's playing against a senior for Texas A&M. Well, he's this year, where he's going up against an all-conference defensive end, and that guy gets some turnovers on the offense. If the quarterback is and they make mistakes, I can live with that. I can't deal with so tonight, and I'm flabbergasted that defense was as ill prepared for what. Well, actually, I say that's the most flabbergasted. It's very close between that and the game. Those are the two things that I just, I'm sorry. Those things can be fixed now. If you have can't cover the guy, all right? It's not his strong suit. He can't. There's nobody around him. I mean, third down after third down, they're just getting wide open looks. That's the part I can't do.
Yeah, and I think for me, watching that defense to start the game, I thought they had moments. I thought they had moments where they played well, but to me, I just thought Florida State did a better job helping their offensive players out. Now, I think, for me, LSU, it just seemed like they had to fight and grind for every single yard, especially
nothing was easy.
Yeah, nothing was easy.
Yeah.
Nothing was easy. And when you were watching Florida State, you saw them just roll out, take the little 8-yard completion, roll out, take the little 8-yard completion. I'm like, man, he's just getting to the edge in peace. There's no one stop. Much easier to execute time and time again, and that's why you saw their third down percentage darn near 100%. You got to continue to credit Norvell. He put Travis in the position. To me, going into the game, I was thinking, hey, drop Travis back time and time again and let Mason Smith and Ojulari get after him. I thought it'd be a very tough time for Florida State to find a way to win this what I wanted Florida State to do, and that's drop, Jayden Daniels back in the pocket time and time again, and they did the exact opposite. They put Travis on the edge, gave him some easy outlets, and he found his weapons, and they let him mix it up in the run game too. So you got to give your credit to Florida State. They found a way to win the football game.
499-9898 is the number on the LeBarish hotline. We'll take a break. This is Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, Hunt, and Hill, the early line. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the poll of the day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
Vizzy, the first hard seltzer with antioxidant vitamin C. It just hits different. Vizzy.
Eli has always been.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy.
BarbecueGuys.com, it performed great. Do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese?
Serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. And take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Upgrades and installations.
.1.
Eagle 98.1 Game Day continues from the Nopsey Hotel here in New Orleans. Florida State wins it by a score of 24-23. 499-9898 is the number to call the LeBarish hotline. Jeremy, how do you think the special teams meeting is going to start?
Oh, Mr. Polian, Mr. Polian. It's not going to be great. I'll tell you that right now. I think any team, and geez, man, I just watched, I was watching SEC Network, and I saw the South Carolina highlights, and they were just beamer balling it up, man. They were just having the time of their life. They're blocking punts. Everything's just great. I'm like, oh, it can't be that hard to just run special teams. And you watch this game, and it seems like it's just it's an act of Congress just to get a successful field goal attempt off. And that's just the last thing you want to be doing going into the first game of the season. But that's exactly where we are right now.
I didn't think twice about going for two at the end of the game. I'm sure a lot of people did. And I'll listen to an argument for it. If you're asking me, which we were talking about during the break, I would have said, hey, you had scored on consecutive possessions. You're actually moving the ball. You had, really for the first time in the game, a little bit of momentum built up. Florida State seemed maybe just a touch shook on the last play of the game to Jenkins because they thought they had in the Superdome. And I'm not sure if the broadcast was on or in a commercial at this point, but they gave a really good, on the big screen, replay of the play. And I'll be honest with you, when I saw that replay, I had the same reaction that the Florida State fans did, which was the game's over. Taylor's knee is down. It's going to be a first down, but there's 1 second left on the clock. And this entire time they're reviewing it, 1 second left on the clock. If they've got 1 second, they can't snap it. They can't get a playoff. So the game is going to be over. When that got turned a little bit shook. If it goes into the overtime, LSU's no worse than 50. I mean, maybe they do, maybe they don't, but it's not like, oh, look, man, they would have, two if they make it. So I never thought about going for two. I don't know if you thought.
No, I never thought about it. And obviously, we all know hindsight's 20/20, but I never thought about going for two. I thought you worked so hard to drive it 97 yards. The last thing you want to do is bail Florida State out with one simple play. All they got to do is get some incompletion, any little penalty, any little thing, and it kind of wipes out. In that football game, I think you make Florida State drive. Don't want to be a part of being up in overtime against this team when we had this game won. So for me, I don't give them. You make them play that overtime. You pretty much feel like you're at home, and so you make Florida State continue to play this football game. And so I wasn't too upset with them blocking, or well, not block. Well, of course I'm upset with them blocking it, but I wasn't too upset with them attempting the extra point.
Here's another reason. If you have a play in your pocket that you know is going to work, that you have studied it on film, you know if you give them a certain look, you're going to get a certain coverage, and you have something that is going to be wide open. We've all seen these plays where teams will run a two-point conversion, and they completely catch the defense off guard. They've scouted it. They know it. They've got a play in their pocket. We got a two-point conversion. This is what we're running. LSU didn't have one, and this is how I know that, or this is my opinion. Okay, if you go watch the touchdown to Jayden Jenkins, it's not Daniels' first read.
This wasn't for the crosser.
Yeah, this was not a deal where LSU runs something on the. If you got a play in your pocket, you're running it there, and they didn't have one. One that was going to catch the defense completely off guard. Play there. You can see Daniels look to his right first, and whatever option that was, I couldn't see the receiver and the thing, was covered. He comes to his second read and hits Jenkins on the post. If that's what you ran and you had to really execute on this play to make, you don't have a play in your pocket. For the 2-point. Not to say they couldn't have converted something just like they did on the last play to Jenkins, but it wasn't guaranteed.
I think also not only that, when you don't have a play that you feel pretty great about, I think you got to parlay that with if you can't. You're handing it to your running backs, and you got one back going for 5 a clip. You got another back going for 6 a clip. You don't feel good about running any type of run point conversion, so you don't feel like you're going to push them enough to get in the end zone in that. And so now you're looking at trying to pass the ball, and you're lucky to even be in that situation. And you saw Coach Kelly holding that one up quick. I don't think they were even thinking about going for 2 for any second there in that moment. So everyone would have loved to kind of saw what happened in overtime if they got there.
When Florida State calls a timeout and you've really got a chance to regroup, I thought for certain it would be something that would have Daniels their best opportunity. Now, they were on the right hash, and so if you're going to roll him to the wide side of the field, you're rolling against his momentum. He would have had to throw against his body. So if you roll him to the right, you're rolling to the short side of the field. But I still did think a little bit. Nope, it was a straight drop back. Now, he completed it. They got 499-9898 is the number on the LeBarish hotline.
Hey, nice. All 4 going for 2. Like you said, they were a little bit stunned beautifully. LSU had the momentum at that point. It was going to be a really good thing, plus the fact they'd already had so many problems on special teams that made me was all for going for 2 as soon as they scored. Get it and go back home, but didn't work out that way. I
thought they could make it. And not only that, but with the new overtime rules in overtime is that you're only going to everyone after that you got to go for 2, and then after that you're just doing 2-point conversions after the 3rd overtime from there on out. And so 2-point conversion, so you wouldn't even have to bring the kicker out again. So I was thinking good about that. And if you are forced to go into overtime after overtime, you don't even have to have your kicker out anyway. So I don't know. I think, I won't be too mad. I'm not going to call anyone an idiot or delusional. But I think if it was me, I kicked the extra point, and I think that's what Coach Kelly and the
Michael Cobble from WBRZ just sent me a text that they read on the touchdown.
Yeah, 100%.
So that's who he. I could see him looking that way, but I didn't have the wide screen on the replays.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know who it was. That makes perfect sense.
Route. They had Keyshawn lined up by himself. He ran a hitch route. He drew 2 defenders. They ran a crossing route, and then they ran a 10-yard in on the backside. They hit Charay on the 10 and in. He was open on the backside, but they were reading it front side, the backside. And obviously you got to get the offensive line time to survey the entire field and get back to it. So which it makes it just even more demoralizing. You can't get the extra point on that play.
499. Number to call on the LeBarish hotline. We'll take a break and we'll come back.
As a community bank, B1 Bank invests in relationships with the people and businesses we proudly represent. Our B1 bankers are here to help simplify and make managing your finances easier. At B1 Bank, your transaction needs. B1 Bank, one highly personal banking experience. Visit us online at b1bank.com for more information.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further. Like vans customized for safety and tech to keep you connected. And backed by the one-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Shopping app and let Rouse's personal shopper shop for you. Curbside pickup is free and you pay the same Saints 20 and save $20 on orders of $100 or more. That's curbside.
Oh, yeah! Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the licensed contractors. It's the law.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger. 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We did
right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station. 100.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Service Master Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Master Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Master Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
98.1.
Eagle 98.1 game day continues from the Nopsey Hotel in New Orleans. Florida State wins it by a score of 24-23. The LaBerge hotline is open. 499-9898 is the number. Mario in Baton Rouge is next. Mario, welcome into the show.
Hi, Charlie. I have a question. Brian Kelly never won a championship with Lou Holtz won a championship at Notre Dame. I hang up in our list.
Yeah, Lou Holtz won a national championship in 1988. The game. This is a different landscape. When Holtz won the national championship at Notre Dame was a top 10 program. A lot of people would tell you that they were when Tony Rice was there and Rocket Ismail was there. Notre Dame had a talent level that was as good or better than the landscape of the game has changed a whole lot since the playoff and all that. What, in my opinion, what lured Brian Kelly to LSU was off and have a fighting chance to win it. When he got Alabama, they were seriously outgunned there. They did not have the talent level that Alabama did. Attracted him to the job. He's won 86 games, I think, as a college championship. A lot of things have to fall in place. You know, think about, you know, for 1 second about Jeremy. What happens if, God forbid, in one of those games in October, Jamar Chase, Jefferson, you know, breaks a bone in his foot, or God forbid, Joe Burrow had his thumb and been out. I mean, then what? Yeah. So you got to be really good, and you got to be a little bit. You got to be. Texas did in 2009. They're playing Alabama, and I think Colt McCoy. I think they've plays the whole way. I mean, I'm not telling you they would have for quarter, and Alabama rolls. Okay, so I believe that Brian Kelly will put this program in position to compete for every year, a year or two from now. Is he going to win a national championship? Everything's got to fall.
I think everything definitely has to fall right. I think, I mean, look at national championships. Things fell exactly any better for everything to fall in place for you to still have a chance to win it. But I think for Coach Kelly, you got to do things the right way, and I think that's building a great foundation. I think for me, looking at everything he's done so far, I think he's done the things in the right steps in the right direction to build that foundation the right way, and I think that's putting together an entire staff that has a lot of guys with Louisiana ties and being able to recruit this great state. I think he's done that, and you look at this recruiting class, he has a top 5, top 6 recruiting class in the country right now going into this next class, and so he's doing everything in his power, and I think the next step is winning the games on Saturday, which he obviously got off to a bad start. But I think as you go on for Coach Kelly, I think if he can recruit the state of Louisiana the way he is right now and continue to build the way he has things, the way he's done things at Notre Dame, I think he's going to put himself in position to do that. Are they going to go win one? I think there's so many things that has to happen between now and then for us to say for certain that will, but I think he'll definitely be in position at one point when he's a head coach of LSU.
Did you know Pat White?
The quarterback from West Virginia?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
He was. I mean, did you know?
Not personally, but okay. I know of him as a player.
He's a little bit older than you, but he was a commitment to LSU at one time, and him getting hurt in the game against Pitt, which was during championship weekend. That wasn't a championship game, but they were playing that extra game against Pitt, and West Virginia was a significant favorite in that game. And White got hurt, and he had to miss most of the middle part of that game, and Pittsburgh won the game. And because of that, LSU got in the national championship. It was one of several things that had to happen that day, and it was by far the least likely. If Pat White plays the whole game, West Virginia probably wins. Okay, that's just They caught a break.
Yep.
They definitely caught a break. Talk to me about LSU's running backs tonight. It didn't seem like they got a lot of opportunities. It seemed like when they got opportunities, there was not a whole lot of daylight to work around with. So if you're going to that O-line meeting, that running backs meeting on Monday, what are they going to say?
I can't really pound the running backs too much. I thought, to me, I
don't know if they had much of a chance.
They didn't really get that many opportunities. To me, Noah Cain did a good job of running hard and taking what was there. But I think, to me, I don't want to – I now call this the Michael Jordan syndrome for Tiger fans, and that's thinking that every quarterback that puts that helmet on is going to be Joe Burrow. Every running back's going to be Leonard Fournette, and every receiver's going to be Jamar Chase. It's just we can't fall into that. So I think looking at those backs and what's going to be asked of them, and looking where they were recruited, I think they played well for what was asked of them. I think for me, to this team, to be, well, if everyone's looking at this team with the glass half full, I think the running backs are going to have a lot more impact on the game in the pass game and in the run game. I think they're going to have a lot more big-time runs. They're going to have some 20-yard runs, some big-time plays, and some, take some ease off of Jayden Daniels. To me, he's not going to make it through the season. If you're going to put that much on Jayden Daniels' shoulders week in and week out, I know he's a tough kid, but I don't see him making it through the season. You're going to have to lean on your running backs and make some plays. But I think with what was asked of them today, I can't really have too many quarrels with the backs.
We were talking in pregame. Matt said, I think Jayden Daniels will be the leading rusher tonight. I said, okay, I can see that. I didn't think he believed, nor did I, that he would have 5 times the yards of LSU's next leading rusher, and that's an awful lot of pounding that he has been taking. 499-9898 is the number to call on the LaBerge hotline. Florida State wins it by a score of 24-23. This is Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
Vizzy, the first hard seltzer with antioxidant vitamin C. It just hits different. Vizzy, step up your seltzer game.
When I was a boy, I spent my days climbing trees, catching fish. Barefoot in the river I walked, listening to crickets, counting stars. This was home. After my stroke, I wondered if I'd make it back to the people and places I love. But I got the right doctors with Blue Cross coverage. Your card matters. Your home does too.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
98.1. Eagle 98.1 Game Day Stat Check. Presented by Luba. Luba, genuine dependability.
All right, let's take a look at the overall numbers here. First downs. LSU actually had more first downs than Florida State. That late rally, 25 to 22. Total yards, 392 for the Seminoles, 348 for the Tigers. Passing, 22 of 33 for Florida State, 260 yards, 26 of 36 for 209 yards for LSU. Yards per attempt, 7.9 yards for Florida State, 5.8 yards for LSU. Rushing attempts, the Tigers ran it 30 times for 139 yards. Seminoles rushed it 38 times for 132 yards. So LSU actually, this is going to look better on paper than it actually played out in the game, Jeremy. They averaged 4.6 yards per rush. Okay, well that's how the math works, but
yeah, right.
that's not exactly how it went down. Penalties, LSU pretty clean in this game, 4 for 45 yards. Really foolish personal foul on Harold Perkins. That was a freshman mistake. Yeah, it's just, again, another poor play. Florida State was worse, though. They had 7 for 80 yards, and actually it was worse than that because Florida State, they had opportunities to really put LSU in a much bigger hole. A play in the first quarter where they are driving, and they break off about a 20-yard run. They're going to have 1st and 10 inside the 20, and it's a holding penalty. It goes down as a 10-yard loss. It's really like a 30-yard loss, because they don't get that 20-yard they don't get that 20-yard gain. Turnovers, LSU turned it over twice. Florida State turned it over once. Time possession, LSU 25-54. Florida State 34-06. Individually, Jayden Daniels, 26 of 35, 209 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Jordan Travis, 20 of 32 for 260 yards and 2 touchdowns. They ran the reverse flea flicker that caught LSU. Yeah. They got behind. Again, that's another play where you go, okay, they caught you. They got a look that they liked. They had that play in their pocket.
Yep.
And it was wide open. They waited for just the right time. Trayshawn Ward, 16 carries for 49 yards to lead Florida State. Travis ran 8 times for 31 yards. Jayden Daniels, 16 carries, 114 yards, averaged 7.1 yards per carry. Noah Kane, 7 carries for 23 yards and a touchdown. Armani Goodwin with 5 carries for 14 yards. Receiving, Jeray Jenkins, 5 catches, 46 yards and 2 touchdowns. Brian Thomas, 5 catches for 44 yards. Mason Taylor, 5 catches for 42 yards. Malik Neighbors, 5 catches for 34 yards. Keyshawn Boutte, not really a big part of what they were doing tonight. 2 catches for 20 yards. Ontario Wilson, 7 catches, 102 yards and 2 touchdowns for Florida State. Johnny Wilson with 3 catches for 60 yards. Defensively, Jay Ward with 8 total tackles tonight, 1 pass defense. Major Burns with 8 total tackles tonight, 2 tackles for losses. Greg Penn with 7 total tackles. Renardo Green, 8 tackles for Florida State to lead the way for the Seminoles. And that is how it went down on the yardstick. We'll take a break, come back, and recap the scores. This is Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
This summer, meet Acura's heroes of performance. Only available at the Acura Summer of Performance.
This summer, visit your local Acura dealer for attractive offers on the MDX.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Eagle 98.1. The Robinson Brothers Ford Lincoln College Football Scoreboard. Robinson Brothers Ford Lincoln, on airline under the giant American flag.
To open the 2021 college football season, or at least the week one portion of it. Alabama beat Utah State 55-0. Bryce Young, 5 touchdowns through the air, another one on the ground for the Tide. Number 2, Ohio State beat number 5 Notre Dame 21-10. C.J. Stroud, a couple of touchdowns for the Buckeyes in that one. Notre Dame hung around though; they were competitive in this game. Oregon was not. Number 3 Georgia beat the number 11 Ducks 49-3. Stetson Bennett threw for 368 yards and a couple of touchdowns. Georgia played close to the perfect football game. They scored 7 drives, 7 touchdowns. They held Oregon without a touchdown in this game. I don't think they turned the ball over even after the 7 straight touchdowns. Very few. This is close to perfect as you could get. No championship hangover in week 1. Number 6, A&M beat Sam Houston 31-0. Haynes King won that quarterback job against Max Johnson, threw for 364 yards and 3 touchdowns. Florida beat number 7 Utah 29-26. Massive game for Anthony Richardson for Florida, but maybe the biggest surprise of the game was Cameron Rising, the Utah quarterback, with inside the 10-yard line. The field goal, I think, is a gimme because Utah's going to block it. And threw an interception. It's something you do not expect a quarterback of his experience level to do.
Yeah, no, I know everyone wanted you to be pushing Napier by now, but I think, Utah had so many opportunities to win that game, and I think being inside the green zone, as we call it, it's even tighter than the red zone. Every opportunity, even if you just somehow just find a way, just don't turn the ball. We'll kick a field goal. Don't turn it over. They turn it over, and you got to give Florida credit. They made the play when they had to, and what a start to the Napier era. That's exactly how you want to start off a season.
You know the guy I want to talk to is Dan Mullen.
Yeah.
I was hey, you didn't want to play that guy? Really? I mean, he's pretty good,
Yeah, exactly. I said that all last season. I thought, watching those two quarterbacks, and you see the NFL, man. The NFL, they get it wrong sometimes, but you're starting to see Anthony Richardson get a lot of pub for a lot of NFL teams on those draft boards next year, and then you saw in that first game why they believe so.
Yeah, he was. People say during the course of the year, why is he on those draft boards? Because he didn't play that much. That's why. Number 8, Michigan beat Colorado State 51-7. Number 9, Oklahoma beat UTEP 45-13 in Brent Venables' debut as Sooner coach. Number 10, Baylor beat Albany 69-10. Number 13, NC State beat East Carolina 21-20. All right, it's going to be a tough special teams meeting at LSU. Probably a tough special teams meeting at East Carolina too. The missed extra point and then the missed field goal, both in the last 2.5 minutes of the game, that could have got ECU home against a favored Wolfpack. Number 14, USC wins Lincoln Riley's debut 66-14 over Rice. Number 16, Miami beat Bethune-Cookman 70-13. Wisconsin over Illinois State 38-0. Arkansas beat Cincinnati 31-24. This was competitive. Arkansas kind of held Cincinnati off. The Bearcats were able to move the football. They had some scoring opportunities that they could not cash in on, but they were in no way outclassed in this ball game. They had every opportunity to win at Arkansas.
Yeah, no, and to me, I never thought I'd be cheering for non-Power 5 as much as I was, and after what I've known tonight, that would have been great to see Arkansas start their season off with a loss. But yeah, I thought for me, KJ Jefferson, man, I think the moment wasn't ever too big for him. He's a really, really big kid, and I thought without Traylon Burks out there, I thought he did a phenomenal job, keeping them in that game and keeping Cincinnati just off their back to be able to win at home.
Number 20, Kentucky beat Miami of Ohio 37-13. Will Levis threw 3 touchdown passes for the Cats. Number 21, Ole Miss beat Troy 28-10. It was number 24, Houston beating Texas San Antonio 37-35. This is one of those games with the new 2-point rule. Went to triple overtime, and Houston ends up winning it by a 2-point conversion. Number 25, BYU beat South Florida 50-21. UConn over Central Connecticut 28-3. Iowa beat South Dakota State 7-3. A field goal and 2 safeties to get to. It was a very common way to get to 7 points, right? A field goal and 2 safeties. That's what Iowa did. Maryland beat Buffalo 31-10. It was Rutgers edging Boston College 22-21. North Carolina beat Appalachian State 63-61. Bizarre play at the end of this game, Jeremy, where North Carolina is up a point. They get an interception and run it back for a touchdown with under 30 seconds to go, which is, of course, the wrong move because now they kick the extra point. They're up 8. They leave the door open for Appalachian State, who, of course, drives the field, scores a touchdown, gets a 2-point conversion, and gets it to overtime. You ever see a guy return an interception for a touchdown, go to the sideline, get his behind shoot?
Look, if your defense is that bad, you're in the world
That's
of trouble.
what happened.
That's exactly how bad those defenses were. And I think for North Carolina, you let the foot off the gas, you let them back in. At the last thing you want to do is find a way to lose that football game. They almost did, but I think for Mac Brown, the crew, to see him dance. I don't know if you saw him gallivanting in the locker room. Yeah, he was having a jolly good old time. And I was like, hey, man, I don't know if you want to be dancing it up like that and winning by 2 points against Appalachian State, but hey, that's what you're going to do if you're North
All
Carolina.
he had to do was fall down. That was it, and they win the game. And they won the game, but without as much drama. Delaware beat Navy 14-7. Virginia over Richmond 34-17. Air Force beat Northern Iowa 48-17. Iowa State over Southeast Missouri 42-10. UCLA beat Bowling Green 45-17. Arizona over San Diego State 38-20. Nebraska over North Dakota 38-17. Double overtime for Wyoming. They beat Tulsa 40-37. Marshall over Norfolk State 55-3. Cal over UC Davis 34-13. South Alabama beat Nichols 48-7. Nevada over Texas State 38-14. Ohio over Florida Atlantic 41-38. Auburn beat Mercer 42-16. Vanderbilt beat Elon 42-31. Vanderbilt is 2-0. I don't really know if they played anybody all that good, but they are 2-0. Kansas State beat South Dakota 34-0. Coastal Carolina beat Army 38-28. Another game that came down to 2-point conversions, a 4-overtime affair. Liberty edged Southern Miss 29-27. Tulane beat UMass 42-10. UL Lafayette over Southeastern 24-7. Arkansas State over Grambling 58-3. Mississippi State beat Memphis 49-23. Will Rogers threw 450 yards and 5 touchdowns. Hunt Palmer's in here chatting with us during the breaks. He says, hey, I'll take my shots with LSU against Mississippi State. If LSU plays the way they played tonight, Mississippi State plays the way they played on Saturday, it won't be a positive outcome for LSU, but teams change.
We'll see.
South Carolina beat Georgia State 35-14. SMU over North Texas 48-10. Stanford over Colgate 41-10. Texas Tech beat Murray State 63-10. Texas over UL Monroe 52-10. Syracuse beat Louisville 31-7. New Mexico over Maine 41-zip. Oregon State beat Boise State 34-17. Washington State over Idaho 24-17. Washington beat Kent State 45-20, and Western Kentucky beat Hawaii 49-17. Going to be a tough first year for Timmy Chang and Hawaii. They had an awful lot of turnover. Stop me if you've heard that one before. That is your college football scoreboard. We'll take a break. Game balls are next here from the Nopsey Hotel in New Orleans. This is Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
I am Juliette, daughter of Marguerite, granddaughter of Gabrielle Piera. I come from a line of strong women, women who knew struggle and success too. Still, I was scared by my breast cancer diagnosis. But I had Blue Cross coverage, which meant I got care from top doctors. I'm strong like my mother, and her mother before her. The right card, the right care.
Order curbside pickup online or with Rouse's Market Shopping app and let Rouse's personal shopper shop for you. Curbside pickup is free and you pay the same price for groceries as in-store. Use code SAINTS20 and save $20 on orders of $100 or more. That's curbside convenience. Shopper style. Oh, yeah!
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
I'm Jayden Daniels. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jdacody.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Eagle 98.1. Eagle 98.1 Game Day. Game Balls. Game Balls. Game Balls. Presented by WCK Foundation Repair. Support your home team. WCK Foundation Repair.
All right, Jeremy, you first game balls tonight. Who you got?
Yeah, to me on offense, I'm definitely going to go with Jayden Daniels. I think, we know how we looked at that offensive game, especially looking at the running backs. I think your best receiver only 20 yards. You lost by 1 point, and you shouldn't even been there. But to me, without Jayden Daniels, you wouldn't even have been in this game at all. So I think you got to give the ball to Jayden Daniels. And I think, to me, defense, I'm going to go Major Burns. I was looking forward to Mason Smith having possibly a big-time day. I think B.J. Ojulari got banged up a little bit to start the game, and then obviously Ali Gay gets kicked out the game, and so you got a revolving door with the linebackers, not really knowing who's going to be opposite of Converse on the outside. I thought Major Burns was the most consistent guy. He seemed to be mixing it up on there, being that vocal leader, getting guys lined up, and he wasn't scared at all to stick his head in there in the box and make plays. And so to me, I'm going to go with Jayden Daniels. I'm going to go with Major Burns for my 2 game balls.
By the way, that's the 2 guys I would have picked if I wouldn't have let you go first. So my game balls will go to Jeray Jenkins. Somebody had to catch those touchdown passes, and he caught 2 of them tonight. 5 catches for 46 yards and the 2 scores. And on defense, once you got past Major Burns, it was tough. But I'm going to go with Mekhi Wingo. He ended up playing a lot more in this game than we thought because Smith went out with the injury. And, Jeremy, you go out and you look at the defensive linemen. When you go to practice, you go, oh, there's Ali Gay, this huge strapping frame. And here's Mason Smith, this monster-looking guy. And here's Jay Roy, who's going to be a pro. And Ojulari is so fast. You look at Mekhi Wingo, and he's about 4 inches shorter than the rest of them. Okay, you wouldn't look at him and go, oh wow. He was a really, really productive lineman for Mizzou last year, and he had 6 tackles tonight.
Yeah.
And from an interior defensive line position, there ain't anything wrong with that. And so sometime in the first quarter, they pushed this guy out there and said, man, you were going to be a part of the game plan, but now you got to play more than you were planning on playing. And I thought he showed out in the time he played.
Yeah, and I think it was great for him to step up. I think anytime you lose Mason Smith, you heard them giving all the love and praise to him, all the preseason All-American honors, all the preseason SEC honors. A kid like that who's a 5-star, one of the best tackles in the country going into the season, they're going to get that pub. But to me, seeing Wingo step in there, not being the highly touted kid, not being the 6'5" kid that's going to stick out of your alien from space, and you're just looking, at this LSU football team. I thought he went out there and played extremely well. And to me, I thought it was very tough for Florida State's running backs who, those guys really just carved up Duquesne the week before. It really wasn't those guys just dominating LSU's front. I thought Wingo had a big say to do with that stuff. Those guys and slow them down a little bit.
We'll come back and wrap it up here from Nopsey in New Orleans. Florida State wins at 24-23. This is Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
Want more customers? Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers. Visit us online at runningboardsmarketing.com so we can drive your message to where the people are.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli? I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
This summer, meet Acura's heroes of performance. Only available at the Acura Summer of Performance.
This summer, visit your local Acura dealer for attractive offers on the MDX.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Wrapping up here at the Nopsey Hotel on Barone Street. Want to thank them for hosting us here on Labor Day weekend, and also to the folks at Rouse's a little bit further down on Barone for hosting us for pregame. This wasn't what any of us had in mind when today started. I was hoping for a better outcome, but hoping for a better, I guess, way that the whole thing laid out, Jeremy. I can honestly tell you, if LSU had kicked the extra point, gone into overtime and won it by 3 or 7 points, I'd feel a little bit better about their team, but not much. Just given what had transpired to get them to that point. So there's a lot of work to do. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of season, but they're starting basically from scratch.
Yeah, and I think for me, I never thought I'd be uttering this words, being so spoiled with all the 10-3 seasons we'd be sick of tired of Les Miles having, but a rebuild, man. I think it fits all the qualities of it. It looks like it when you watch this team play, and it looks like this program is going to have a hard set rebuild, and I think in a lot of ways it could be refreshing because, looking at this team the last 2 seasons is just not the LSU football that we've grown accustomed to watching. And sometimes you just have to have a purge and, start over and start anew. And so there's so many things you could point out that went negatively wrong that you think could possibly ail this team throughout the season. But I think Coach Kelly's going to try to take this thing 1 week at a time. You get a big breath of fresh air. Hopefully next week you play a Southern team that you feel like you should have your way with. And so hopefully you can kind of get yourselves back under you, get some guys going back, get some momentum going the right way, and get a win back under your belt because, it's been a long time since we felt what that felt like. So let's get that back going, and hopefully Coach Kelly can turn this thing around.
The purge is almost complete. The rebuild is going to take some time. Thanks to everybody for participating this evening. For Bo Wegman, our engineer, and for Jeremy Hill, I'm Charles Hanniger saying thank you and good evening. For the guys back in the studio at Eagle 98.1, thank you very much. By the way, full day on ESPN Baton Rouge tomorrow. Programming starting with OTB tomorrow morning. The Brian Kelly press conference will be on Tuesday this week, so we'll have that for you as well. And next week when LSU takes on Southern, pregame start at 1:30 for the 6:30 kickoff for that game in Tiger Stadium. From all of us here in New Orleans, thank you and good evening. This has been Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
LSU Football Today has been brought to you by BetRivers.net, the free-to-play site where you can sample casino games and sports bet for free. Don't miss all the purple and gold action all season long right here on Eagle 98.1, presented by BetRivers.net.